Good afternoon and welcome to another week of Wild and Wacky Chit Chats with the twins. I am Krista and I'm flying solo again. This is kind of funny. It's 2 weeks in a row where the day came to do our show and we decided, you know what, we're going to choose something different here. And so this week's episode is called What If Uncomfortable is the New Comfortable? So I'm just going to give you guys a moment to pop in on here, and I'm going to find myself. I'm sitting on Izzy's beanbag here in my living room. I normally like to be outside, and today I have the house to myself, so I thought, you know what, it's a little chilly out there. I'm just going to stay inside for once. So let me get on here. Karen and I have been in Crystal Crawford's Salon de la Consciousness, it's called. She's an Access Consciousness facilitator, and she's actually going through all of the distractor implants, which are, actually I got the book right here. In this book, Living Beyond Distraction by Gary Douglas, and there's 24 of these distractor implants that we like. These distractor implants are designed to keep us average, normal, and real in this reality. So that we are the same as everybody else. And those are anger, rage, fury, hate, blame, shame, regret, and guilt. And this month we are doing addictive, compulsive, obsessive, perverted points of views. Then there's love, sex, jealousy, peace, life, death, living, reality, fear, doubt, business, and relationships. So this book is pretty mind-blowing, and these calls are totally changing everything. And actually the last blame, shame, regret, and guilt, and now this obsessive compulsive perverted points of views is really rocking my world and making me really uncomfortable, because I've been asking for total awareness, and what I've learned in this set of 4 distractor implants is that awareness is like the most perverted point of view in this reality. And consciousness, we're not supposed to be aware, we're not supposed to be conscious, we're not supposed to stand outside and be different than anybody else. So when we do make that choice, it can be very uncomfortable. And I made a post yesterday all about being wrong, and something that I have really come to recognize is how wrong I always am. And I didn't realize, though, that I was functioning from this. But one of the tools of Access Consciousness is the light and heavy tool. So what makes you feel, hello Kelly, I'm coming on here spur of the moment again this week. So light and heavy, what makes you feel light, what makes you light is true for you, and what's heavy is a lie. So anytime you are feeling heavy, you're feeling condensed, you're feeling contracted, you're in some sort of a lie, you're in some sort of a distractor implant, which is those 24 I just said, or you're just functioning from something that's not your truth. And when you feel light, that is true for you. We are infinite beings. And so you know those moments where you just know that this choice is going to create greater for you, and that it just lights you up. It feels so expansive in your world. And so you choose it. And then what we often do right after is we make ourselves wrong for it, because it's so different than what everybody else is choosing. And so the last day, like after this call in Salon de la Consciousness yesterday, I really started to notice where I make myself wrong all the time. And it was just like, you don't even notice it. It's so subtle unless you're paying attention to it and you're being aggressively present with it, which is what I was doing yesterday, because I had been really uncomfortable. For the last week, I've been really, really uncomfortable. And of course, I've gone to a wrongness about it. What's wrong with me? What am I doing wrong? Like, why am I so heavy right now? Like what? And and if you don't ask questions, you just assume it's yours. But if you stay in question and you dig a little deeper, you might just discover that it's something totally that does not belong to you, because 99.9999999% of all of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions do not belong to us. So I started noticing all the places that I was making myself wrong yesterday. So even a simple example of saying no to the kids about something. So they want to have a snack. Well, it's right before supper. So I say, no, we're going to have supper right away. And then I'm aware of their sadness over it and their disappointment over it. And then I go to the wrongness of me because I just made their day less delightful. And so it's like, oh, I'm making myself wrong again. And that's just kind of a minor example, but we do it all the time. Like, we feel light about something, we say something to someone else about something that we're really excited about. Like, I made this choice to sign up for this course. It feels really light and expansive in my world. I'm going to do this. And then the other person is like, well, why would you do that? Why would you waste your money on that? Why would you spend your time on something like that when everything is just perfectly fine here and you could spend this money on much more important things? And then we go into a wrongness of ourselves for choosing it. And it's just like so much that was happening to me yesterday. And then it was really cool though, because it was like, okay, I just made myself wrong for that. Oh, I made myself wrong for that. And then automatically that expanded my universe back out. I was like, oh, I'm just choosing to make myself wrong again. It doesn't mean I'm wrong. It just means that I'm aware of something different. And so I was reading through this Blessed Possibilities, another book by Gary Douglas. And there's this little section called Comfort and Discomfort. And this participant says, I've been playing with being uncomfortable. My ease with it has increased, but, and Gary goes, you have decided what uncomfortable is. You say, this is uncomfortable. It feels like shit. So all day yesterday and all the last week, actually, I have felt really uncomfortable. And I've called it uncomfortable. And it does kind of feel like shit. What you don't do and what you need to do is ask, what is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how can I change it? Well, for me, it's just been acknowledging that I'm making myself wrong, even though what I initially choose, what my initial choice was, is what made me feel light. So it was true for me. But then I was like, oh, but now someone might judge me, and now someone might think I'm a bad person for making this choice. So now I have to go to the wrongness of me. And then once I go to the wrongness of me, I have to prove that I'm not wrong because I'm in this distractor implant. And so then I have to react to it and get mad and prove that I'm right so that I don't have to be wrong, even though I already know that I'm wrong. Like, it is so insane where we function from. Hello, Rita, my infinite being friend, and right back at you. So what if everything you have been asking for requires you to exist in the space of not comfortable? Hello, Erin. Nice to see you on here. I'm so glad you guys are joining on my last minute decision to come on here. So I'm going to say that again. What if everything you have been asking for requires you to exist in the space of not comfortable? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all names, shorts, boys and beyonds. If you're new here and you don't understand what I just said, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and it will explain more of that crazy sounding thing. What if uncomfortable is an indication that you are getting everything you would actually like to have, and comfortable means you get to be like everybody else? So do you want to be comfortable and fit in and be average, normal, and real and cut off parts of yourself so that you are average, normal, and real? Or would you be willing to be uncomfortable, to tiptoe into the unknown, to be the difference that you came here to be different? And that's one thing that Crystal talked about in Salon de la Consciousness, is that it's like, you know, so just because you don't agree with someone else and everybody else has the same opinion and you don't, what if you're not wrong for that? What if you're just different? What if you're not wrong? What if you're just different? And how many of all those people that have the same point of view, how many of it is even their point of view to begin with? Like, what if that is just what they bought as real and true? And like, because how many of you and your beliefs and your opinions are even yours? And how many of you have even questioned why you have the point of view that you have the point of view? And so it's like really starting to look at like where you've been functioning from and what your point of view is and where you've learned your points of views from. And this is what I love that Crystal said, that it's like if you learned all of the stuff that you've learned and you've learned all of the places that you've been functioning from, you can learn something different. So if you've been functioning in this mediocre world where you just be the way like you're supposed to be, you act out your parts, you know, the way that you're supposed to be because you are this person, because you are this mom, this sister, this aunt, this uncle, this teacher, this whoever that you are, this friend, you know, like, so you have to be this person because that's who other people think that you're supposed to be. What if you can just be who you want to be, and that's just different? And what if it's not wrong? Hello, Miss Kate Sherwood. What if it's not wrong? And then the third piece that she talked about that brought me so much ease in my world is that it's like we have spent this lifetime and many other lifetimes functioning from this reality's point of view, that it's going to take a minute for it to change, for us to make different choices. It's gonna take a minute. It's not like we can just rip the Band-Aid off and all of a sudden we're comfortable being ourselves. We're comfortable saying things that we've never been willing to say before. You know, like it's gonna take a minute, so be gentle with yourself. Good afternoon, Leanne, too. Nice to see you on here. So you have made uncomfortable wrong. Wrong, so very wrong. It is wrong to be uncomfortable. Because I'm like, what's wrong with me that I don't feel like myself lately? And Kara talked about this in La Resistance this morning. Kara and I did some energy healing sessions on each other, and we let go of a lot of points of views about a whole lot of things, a whole lot of places we've been functioning from. We let go of so much. And after that, it felt really uncomfortable because I didn't feel like myself, because I let go of all of these layers and walls and barriers and beliefs that I believed defined who I was. And all of a sudden, when I was able to just like get rid of that, and it created the space, all of these doors open, all of these new opportunities were arising. It felt uncomfortable. And then from what went to such an expansive, joyous experience went to a wrongness of what was occurring. So it is wrong to be uncomfortable. What if it's not? Uncomfortable means some wrongness is about to occur. But the only thing about to occur is awareness. So anything that brings up or lets down in your world, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Good day to you, Nicole. And that's what I've been asking for, is total awareness. And that's what has been delivered to me, is total awareness. And it has felt really uncomfortable. And then I made myself wrong. Like, how insane are we? So try asking, what possibility am I avoiding with the uncomfortable I am choosing? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. Uncomfortable is just an awareness of change. Uncomfortable is just an awareness of change. It's a new energy that we just aren't aware of. So we've been asking like for this change to occur. I've been asking for total awareness. I've been asking for something different to show up. So I'm used to these energies of comfort in my world. I'm used to the energy of fitting in and being average, normal, and real like everybody else. But I was aware that I didn't want to function from that space anymore because something was missing. And that something that was missing was me. All the places I cut myself off to fit in. So I wanted total awareness, total choice. I wanted me. And so I asked for that. I've drawn that into my life. I've pulled that energetically into my life. And that energy is something I'm not familiar with. So it felt uncomfortable. So I made it wrong. So anything this brings up or lets down in your world, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Times a gazillion, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all 9 shorts, boys and beyonds. And that clearing statement is just like a magical wand. So all of this stuff is bringing up all these points of views, all of these places that we've been functioning from, all of these energies which feel heavy because they're a lie, because they're not our truth. But they've been what's been making us comfortable. So then it all comes up, and then the clearing statement gets rid of it all. It creates then this space that you might perceive as uncomfortable. And because it's foreign and because it's unknown, you then might tend to go to it being a wrongness of you, because we are so notorious for making ourselves wrong. So uncomfortable is just an awareness of change, a new energy that we've been asking for. That's all it is. Stop trying to make yourself comfortable and start enjoying the misery. You've defined uncomfortable as miserable and comfort as an unawareness that works for you. That's it. Can we change that, says the participant. Gary says, no, you have to choose it. You have to look at it and say, you know what? Enough of this. This is crap. If I were choosing my reality, what would I choose? That is such a freedom to me. if I were choosing my reality, what would I choose? That's the question. That's the one thing that will get you out of it. All you have to do, all of you have to do this. All of you have to do this if you are looking for something different. You have to start asking, if I were choosing my reality, what would I choose? You've got to start choosing your reality, because if you don't, you're doomed. And the call participant says, I think I must have misapplied and misidentified comfort with ease. Gary says, you assume, which makes an ass out of you and me, that if you have ease, you won't have discomfort. You don't get that if you have discomfort. It is only an awareness of what you have not yet been willing to receive. So anything that brings up or lets down in your world, will you destroy and uncreate it all? Right, wrong, good, bad, pop, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. I was not willing to receive that I make myself wrong. Because why would anyone choose that? That's insane. Why would you choose to make yourself wrong about everything? But what if it doesn't matter why? Like, that's just the way this reality functions. Because in this reality, everyone has to do the right thing. It's all about right and wrong, good and bad, black and white. That's what this reality is. Good and bad, right and wrong, black and white. And anything outside of it is wrong. So we make ourselves wrong if we are anything that doesn't fit within this reality. And the call participant says, can you say that again? And Gary said, it doesn't matter how many times I say it. You're not going to hear it. One more time, please. If you have discomfort, it is only an awareness of what you have not yet been willing to receive. What you have not yet been willing to receive. So I want awareness. I want total awareness. So that what that awareness has brought to me is that the reason I haven't been able to receive all the awareness is because I'm so busy making myself wrong every time I choose what doesn't belong in this reality. So now I'm just playing with, okay, well, where am I making myself wrong? Oh, I'm just making myself wrong here again. If I was choosing my reality, what would I choose? Oh, I'm making myself wrong here. Because. I'm making myself wrong because it's not what other people think is right. If I was choosing my reality, what would I choose? And it takes a lot of potency and power and bravery and balls to choose what other people aren't willing to choose. That's it. And it's a little uncomfortable. So are you willing to be uncomfortable? Or do you want to stay comfortable? And none of it's right or wrong. That's just it. It's whatever reality you want to choose. And maybe your reality is that you would never want people to judge you. So that's not wrong then. But we're always making ourselves wrong. And what if we didn't have to? So Gary says, when you are aware of discomfort, it is the moment before success begins. You think it is easier not to be successful, so you can be a comfort junkie. So this person says, so how do I change that? Is it just a choice? Gary says, it's all a creation. What would happen if you went to, wow, what's about to happen that I'm not comfortable with? If you get clear that you are willing to have that discomfort and realize something is about to occur that you haven't been expecting or that you haven't been willing to receive, you won't then go and say, oh my God, this is terrible. I want to go back to comfort. You will never choose comfort. you will choose possibility above all things. So that's what I'm aiming for. And it's just a practice, and it's just baby steps. So if any of you are looking for change, and you're looking to choose what makes you happy, and choosing your path of lightness, just be aware that sometimes when you follow your path of lightness, it's gonna mean that you are making choices that nobody else is willing to choose. So what you might want in those moments where all of a sudden I say something out loud and it brings the attention to other people around me and they're not agreeing with what I'm saying, instead of resisting and reacting to it because now I need to prove that I'm not wrong, instead of that, what if in your head you could just say, I'm just different. I'm just different. Not everybody's gonna get what I'm saying. People might look at me like I'm an alien. I'm just different. And you don't need to prove your difference to other people. Nobody's gonna get that because nobody is like you. Nobody can see things the way that you see things. Nobody can be the way that you can be you. Everybody is different. So no matter how much proving, how many explanations you try to give, how many reasons and justifications of why you're choosing what you're choosing, nobody else is ever going to be able to validate that for you. So you have to be willing to follow your path of lightness. Does it feel light for you? Great. And if you need other people to get it, if you need other people to understand it, then you're going to go back into that place of being comfortable. You're not going to be able to choose outside the box because no one's ever going to be able to see that the way that you see it. So I'm just different. So what if you can practice playing with these energies and just being the curious detective in your life? Okay, this energy feels uncomfortable. What is this? What is this? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how? And is this the change that I have been asking for showing up how I never imagined that it would? And staying in question. Always staying in question and out of conclusion, because the moment you go to conclusion, I am wrong, then you miss out on everything that is willing to contribute to you. And that's that whole receiving. And it requires you to drop your walls and barriers, to drop your points of views, to drop your judgments, to drop your projections of what it's supposed to look like. Because that's the other thing, is that we think we want to be us. I want to be happy. I want to be aware. If I then go into what that's supposed to look like, then when what I'm asking for starts to show up in my world, I can't see it, or I judge it as wrong because it doesn't look the way I thought it was going to look. So stay in question. What's right about me that I'm not getting? What do I love about being wrong? What do I love about being wrong? Like, get curious with that. And what would it be like if you allowed yourself to be the wrongness you could be? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And Kara and I have a private group called La Resistance, which you're all invited to, and a lot of you are already there. And this question, we take a question from Access Consciousness and we say it 30 times a day for 30 days. And right now we're saying, how far into a different reality would I have to reach for this to change? And anything that brings up times a gazillion, I now destroy and uncreate it all, right, wrong, good, bad, pop, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So how far into a different reality would I have to reach for this to change? And that's what we've been asking. And so what's been coming up is all of these uncomfortable, new, foreign areas. And what I've been doing is making myself wrong for it because it's unfamiliar, and it's like I go to a judgment of that energy instead of just being curious. You see what I'm saying? Like we're asking for something different. This energy is showing up. It's an unfamiliar energy. So instead of just being like, oh, what is this? What is this energy? Can I change it? If so, how? What can I do with it? Like, what is this? If I didn't have to judge it as right or wrong, good or bad, black or white, what else could it be? So staying in question. But if instead I'm like, well, this wasn't supposed to show up this way, and this energy feels weird to me, therefore it's wrong. Now I'm going to judge it. Now I'm going to contract myself. And that takes a hell of a lot of energy to function from that place of being, like to function from this contracted place of being. It takes so much energy. No wonder I've been so tired lately, because I've been so busy making myself wrong. So what if instead you could just be the curious detective of your life? What is this energy showing up? Is this what I've been asking for showing up how I didn't expect? And stay in question. Always stay in question. If you can get anything from any of this conversation, stay in question. And what if uncomfortable is the new comfortable? What if that is where you want to lean into it? And what if all you got to do is let go of the rope and expand into the infinite space of being and trust that what you are asking for will show up? And what we want to do is the moment that change is about to occur is we say, this isn't working. I'm wrong. I failed. And we stomp that out of existence and we go back to where we were before. It's like this continual vicious loop. So there's a lot, but what I do just invite you to do for the rest of this day is to just acknowledge how different you are. Acknowledge that you're probably going to go to a wrongness about what you're choosing, because as soon as you choose something different than what you would normally choose, you're wrong. You just make yourself wrong. So what's right about this that I'm not getting, and what can I choose because of this? What's next? What's next? What's next? Stay in question, stay in question, stay in question. What else is possible that I've never considered? And if I was choosing my reality, what would I choose? And if you would like more of these tools and you would like to play with us, we are over halfway through this question, but we will continue to be asking new 30-day questions and really diving deep into all of these very interesting places that we function from, all of these interesting points of views that we have, all of these beliefs that we've picked up. We're going to be looking at them, and then we're going to choose something different. So if you'd like to come and play with us, I'll pop the link here below. Thank you for joining me in another week of Wild and Wacky Chit Chats with the twins. I hope you have an amazing, fabulous day. And if your brain is feeling fried from this, what's right about this that I'm not getting? And just watch it again. Sometimes the first step is for all of this to just trickle into our awareness and start to get some of these points of views out of the way, and then we can hear it the next time around. Have an awesome day. I'll see you guys around here another time. Bye-bye.